Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wolf Pit with another episode of What Are We Eating? Today we're going over the classic Banquet pot pies, but not the classics we used to be able to get back in the day for $2, $3, or $4 for $1. And those classic pot pies were cheap and very good, and they're still fairly cheap and still very good. So today we're going to be trying Banquet's dessert pot pies, which I don't think are new, but I know for sure I've never tried them before. Like the 7-ounce Banquet apple pie that's made with Washington apples, the 7-ounce Banquet peach pie that's made with real peaches, and the 7-ounce Banquet cherry berry pie that's made with real cherries. All of these pies normally cost $1.19 a piece, but I got these for $1 a piece. And thankfully, Banquet realized that we, the people, aren't very bright and needed to be told that there's real apples, real peaches, and real cherries used in these pot pies, as opposed to fake fruit. I will never understand these frozen food manufacturers. They think we're stupid. First, let's go over the 7-ounce Banquet apple pot pie made with Washington apples. It doesn't state if they're real apples or fake apples on this one, just that they're Washington apples. But we'll know soon enough, because fake apples don't go good in the oven, and they're tough and chewy when you eat them, and they don't provide the proper daily allowance of fiber. The Banquet apple pot pie provides great taste and is a familiar favorite. Here's the list of ingredients. And the reason that Banquet pot pies crust are so good is because they're made with lard. Kudos to Banquet to sticking with old school ways to make things done right, that taste right. The whole 7-ounce apple pie has 380 calories, 16 grams of total fat, 7 grams of saturated fat, no trans fat, 10 milligrams of cholesterol, 490 milligrams of sodium, 54 grams of carbohydrates, less than 1 gram of fiber, 23 grams of sugars, and 3 grams of protein. So here's our Banquet apple pie right out of the freezer and right out of the box. And now we're going to cook it in the conventional oven according to the instructions on the box. Now you, the people, might ask, why am I going to spend 34 minutes and cook it in the oven versus 4 minutes cooking in the microwave? Because Banquet took the time to make the crust right with lard, and it would be sacrilegious to cook a good crust in the microwave. You want to cook it in the oven so it'll be nice and golden brown and flaky, just like this. This is our apple pie after baking at 400 degrees for 34 minutes. So we scooped up a piece of the crust first. And then into the old pie hole and down the gullet it went. And it's just a good, simple, light and flaky, delicious crust. What more can you ask for? Next, we went in to try the filling. And the filling looks like the filling in most basic semi-homemade apple pies. And it tasted just like the semi-homemade apple pies made with canned apples, which isn't bad at all. The overly sweet filling, complemented with the cinnamon, is toned down just the right amount with the flaky, airy, light crust. It's just an overall delicious dessert that is still an absolutely delicious bargain at $1 a piece, which is why I'm giving Banquet's apple pie an 8 out of 10. Next, we're trying the 7-ounce Banquet peach pie that's made with real peaches. The Banquet peach pie provides great taste and is a familiar favorite. Here's the list of ingredients, and I forgot to mention before that the lard that's used in this is deodorized lard. I didn't know there was an option to get odorized or deodorized lard. So definitely keep that in mind the next time you're lard shopping. The whole 7-ounce Banquet peach pie has 400 calories, 14 grams of total fat, 5 grams of saturated fat, no trans fat, 10 milligrams of cholesterol, 420 milligrams of sodium, 65 grams of carbohydrates, 2 grams of fiber, 30 grams of sugars, and 4 grams of protein. Now here's our Banquet peach pie right out of the freezer and right out of the box. And now it goes into a preheated 400-degree oven for 34 minutes. Now here's our Banquet peach pie after baking in a 400-degree oven for 34 minutes. And again, look at how nice and light and flaky that crust is. So we got a spoonful, and then into the old pie hole, and down the gullet it went. And there's really nothing else to say. That's the best, lightest, flaky crust you're going to find on a $1 pot pie. And pretty much on most other pot pies. So next we went in to try the peach filling. And once again, the filling was very sweet and full of cinnamon, but unfortunately the peaches didn't have any texture to them whatsoever. Adding some of that flaky, light crust added the much needed texture to the peach pot pie. Overall, the peach pot pie was very good, had good flavor, and of course the light flaky crust. I just wish that the peaches had a little bit more texture to them. So I'm giving Banquet 7-ounce peach pot pie a 7 out of 10. Finally, for the 7-ounce Banquet cherry berry pie that's made with real cherries. I guess the berries in the cherry berry pie aren't real, it's just the real cherries. The cherry berry pie has great taste and is a familiar favorite. Here's the list of ingredients. The whole Banquet cherry berry pie has 410 calories, 15 grams of total fat, 5 grams of saturated fat, no trans fat, 10 milligrams of cholesterol, 340 milligrams of sodium, 65 grams of carbohydrates, 3 grams of fiber, 29 grams of sugars, and 4 grams of protein. Here's our Banquet berry cherry pie right out of the freezer and right out of the box. And now here it is 34 minutes later after baking in a 400-degree oven. So once again, we tried the crust first. And once again, the crust was light, flaky, and delicious. Next, we went in and tried the berry cherry filling. And I was really looking forward to trying the cherry filling, because cherry pie is my favorite pie, along with blueberry pie. So this is going to be an extra treat. So into the old pie hole, and down the gullet it went. And once again, the filling was deathly sweet, with a good amount of cinnamon, but needed more cherries and blueberries for some much needed texture. But other than that, the filling mixed with the crust was absolutely delicious. And I'm giving Banquet's berry cherry pie a 7 out of 10. Don't forget, I've added an Amazon wish list to the description in this video for you people to scroll through to see if there's something off the wish list that you'd like to send me to try. Or you can add whatever you like and send it to me to try. It doesn't have to be on the wish list. If this is something you'd like to do, please send me an email and let me know what you bought so that when I receive them through Amazon, I'll know who they came from so I can sponsor the video in your name. Thank you all very much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.